Today's lesson is about HTML forms. Forms are one of the most important parts of a website because they allow users to send data to the server. In this video, I will show you the basic HTML form elements and how to use them correctly. You can find forms in many places on a website, such as contact pages, registration, login pages, subscription forms, and other areas where users need to submit information. Examples of forms in real life includes bank forms where you fill out information in the bank, enter your name, address, etc. Those are examples of form in real life. But on the website, the admin or the company can collect information when you enter those information in the form and send it to the database.
Create our form page. To create a new file, all we need to do is make sure that our file, all you need to do is to make sure that the cursor is right here, the same folder where we want to create the file. Go to File, New File, Save As. Index.html. Let's create form.html. So our form is form.html. You can also change the name to contact.html. So to create this form, to create a form, we'll start by creating the HTML tag form. So this is the basic form tags. But now, a form takes a certain number of parameters. Those parameters are called attributes in HTML, as we discussed earlier. We have action, which is where the files in this form will be processed. So if you put your username and password, the action is the page or the script that will process it. So let's say we put hash for now, excuse me, and then method. You have method. You can choose get or post, but this is basically for backend or PHP. So for now, we can leave it empty. We have ink type. Let me format this so that it's easy to read. So the next thing we have ink type. Ink type, which is usually multi-part /form data. So this is when you only use this when you have a file to submit or image. Let's say you want to submit this file has an image, let's say profile picture, etc. Any kind of image or video, etc. Use multi-part form data. Then we also have, you can give this form a name, which is not usually, but you can leave it. The other things you can add, but this right here is the basic you need. Once you know these three attributes, this is for PHP, the page where it will be processed. This is method for PHP or any backend programming language. So you have post, you have get, you also have other methods. So inside the form, we have label, first name, we have input. You can make this first name, full name, or anything you want to make it. Input. Type. Full input types take text. So let's go ahead and run this and see how it looks. See full name. So we have one input here. Okay. Let's go ahead and continue. So let's put a line break, or let's leave it for now and create another label and input. I'm going to name this email. So this is going to be email. Email input type, input, right? Input type is equals to email. So this validates this type email is usually for email, and what it does is HTML helps to provide front-end validation. So by the time you click submit, and then HTML checks this type and sees that there is no at involved in your email, that means it will not work. Let's go ahead and create a button and try this out. So by the time we save this, we are going to see, you see, everything is on a straight line, but we don't want this to be on a straight line. We want this one to be under this, and then this one to be under, because if it keeps going like this, it's going to look funny. So let's do this. We come here, we're going to put a break, line break here. Now we're going to put line break here, and make this look better. Come here. See? It's already looking. So we also apply line break here. Okay. So we have that. Now, to test what I was saying, if you have a full name, John Michael, and then you have email, john.com, without putting the at, when you click on submit, see, it says please include at in the email address. So HTML has been able to validate that this right here is not an email address. So if you put John Michael at gmail.com, you see, it goes. That means it helps validate. So let's continue with the input tags. The next is we also have other tags. We also have other tags we can add. We have name, which is very important and is used to collect data with backend. We also have placeholder, which will show in the input what this form is about. Let's save it and look at it. So when you have placeholder displays here. That is, shows the user what they are about to enter. That is the work of the placeholder. Then the full name also has a name, but you cannot see the name because that name is only made use of when we are using PHP. Okay, so we also have another tag, another attribute which is required. This is very important when you want HTML to validate your form. If for instance this required is not here, and then you click here, it will go. But by the time you put required and come back here and click refresh and click, it shows fill out this field. It says fill out this field. So that is because we are using required. Okay, you can also do a little bit more by putting you have other tags like autocomplete, which you can put name, you can also put spell check, which is false if need be, but these two here are not very important. This one, they are not often used, but you should know them so that by the time you need to use them, you will use them. We also have the email can also have autocomplete email. You have multiple and save. Okay. So, okay. We also need name here. and save name. And put email. So input type email. We also have input type. I'm going to look at range slider. Let's start with a div. Start with label. And let's so we are going to continue. We are going to continue by creating one more form, which is radio buttons. So let's create radio buttons so you see how it looks. So level, we have gender. Input. Now, look at this. You see, we have one gender, male. So we have to create for female too. And to do that, let's copy this and paste for female too. Now let's check this out. So we have gender, male or female. So this helps in selecting when you have to choose one between two items. That is the work of radio buttons. After the radio buttons, we are going to look at checkboxes. So to create a checkbox, you have to create an input type which is checkbox. Name, can use hobbies. Value, this particular one is reading. Now can just leave it as checked. That means it's checked. Okay, and then you're supposed to add a label at the beginning to show that this publish. Then we also have to create. So if you look at it, we have two checkboxes checked. So we are going to remove checked from this one, and then we'll see the second one is no longer checked. So to continue, we have to create another checkbox to make it 3 items to be selected. So we have this one. What else do you like doing? Sleeping. Okay. So let's check this browser. We have hobbies. We have reading, sports, and sleeping. So only one is checked. So we'll continue looking at the checkboxes. We can decide to add another checkbox, but let's leave it at 3 for now and go to. Can also add HR. HR is horizontal row. By the time you add this HR, it means horizontal row. And then if you add it and save and run it, you are going to see a line that goes across the website. So that is how to draw a line with HTML, horizontal row. So we are going to also create another input, which is select statement. Select HTML select. So what are we going to select? Select a course. And then the select starts with select, ends with select. Then what we are going to have name, which will be the course. We're also going to have required, which means that this particular input has to be selected, compulsory, it is required. So the first one will be option. The first option, the value can leave it at now, and then we can say disabled, selected. That means this cannot be disabled, means you cannot choose from this, and by default it is selected. Select a course. The second one, we can choose
an option which is HTML. Close it. Well, inside this option, we need a value which will be what? HTML. That is how it goes. So this value is what works with the back end, or what the front end will send to the back end as the value of the selection. So copy it, paste this. You also have CSS, and then copy and paste again. You have JS. You copy and paste again. You have PHP or whatever you want to place there. So by the time we save this and then go back to our code to look at it, we're going to see select course. Then we have the first one, which is by default it cannot be selected. See, but this can be selected, this can be selected, this can be selected, and this can be selected. But this one has been designed to be the default and then disabled. The reason why you need to do this is so that even when you don't forget to select the actual one, unless you want the default to be the first one. But if not, if you remove this, you see that the default becomes, the first one becomes the default. And it's not good because the user can actually submit what they don't intend to submit. So we have to go to the next, which is we have to add a text area to this. Text area is basically where a box where users can add text like message. Let's use this example message, and then you can see row. This is just rows. This is basically the sizing. You can see form and column, which is schools. You can see 50. Okay. So we have name, message, we have rows. You can leave it at 4. We have calls, which is 50, or anything you want to add, let's say 30. And then placeholder. Placeholder, remember what placeholder does? Say something like enter a message. Enter a message here. Okay. So if you save this, remember we'll close this here. So nothing is in between the text area. Nothing, but it has the attributes and values. You can also say break this here. Come back to our code and run it. And we'll see that we have the text area here. This is where we can enter our messages. So the next thing we are going to look at is profile picture. Let's try to create an input for a profile picture. So if you have a label with a tag, and then this is just how to add an image. You have to come in and say input type. We are going to use type is equals to file. You can put name, profile image, or profile image, anyhow you want it. You can also say required, and then close the tab. BR, put a BR tab, and close. Now if we save this and run it, you are going to see where we add our profile picture. This is it. When you click on it, it opens a place where you can select any kind of picture you want, and then when you click submit, you submit. So that is basically it for HTML. But remembering, we did not talk about button. Every form has a button, and the button goes like, when you open a button tag, you have the name, and then the type, whether the type is submit or whatever else. The type can be submit, the type can be button. For this, we are using submit. So that is basically, these are the basics you need in a form. There are other different inputs that are required in a form, but this one can take it places. You can use this to create complex websites. Okay. So in our next classes, we'll be talking about tables and other HTML elements where this data can be displayed on a table. Like I said, tables and forms are very important when it comes to HTML.